Hi everyone, welcome to my Wayward Wednesday. Today I am here with my cinnamon tea and I'll be talking about some cultural differences about how we celebrate Christmas in Canada versus Brazil. So stay tuned. I just wanted, before I go into that, just use this opportunity to tell you what Christmas means to me. And try not to get too emotional. I know that many people celebrate Christmas religiously. And I think as with many main celebrations of many different cultural and religious backgrounds, you can have a celebration that is either, even if it's undertoned religious or culturally. I celebrate Christmas culturally because of everything that it means to me. I know I should be more religious, but I am not. I really respect those who are, and I do respect the faith of those who want to share it with me. So I'm not against religious, I just don't follow one in particular. I try to respect them all. And for me, growing up, Christmas has always been this really fun thing. It was more about waking up and getting presents and do it like that. And I had my grandfather and my grandmother and we celebrated with them. But then it really became this nothing. And then I had this crisis where I felt I was in search of a love family. I was like an angst teen. And I remember being invited to one of my best friends, Deborah's Christmas party every year. And at the time she would bring her cousins. It was a huge thing and I felt like family, and that's when I started realizing and forming my idea of what Christmas means to me. For me, Christmas and Christmas times is when you are kind to others and you share your wealth and you think about others before you think about yourself, and you just bask in the joy of just being alive. And being blessed and having things is when you consider all the things that you are and some of the things that you have, not what you don't have or you wish you were. So I think it's a time to be thankful and thoughtful and grateful. So with that being said, it is a time to spend with family, and by family I mean all of those that you love, blood related or not. Christmas for me is when love happens. You know what I mean? It's when you really realize who's there for you and you make sure they know they matter to you. So with that being said, I wanted to just chat a little bit about other than the meaningful things, and that's what it means to me. I wanted to talk about some of the differences about how we celebrate Christmas, the party or occasion in Canada, and in ways which it differs from the ways we celebrate Christmas in Brazil. I think the most interesting and the first difference that I noticed when I first moved to Canada is that in Brazil, Christmas starts on noon of the 24th. So most businesses, and I don't know, it has changed recently, but most businesses will close at noon on the 24th, so people can go home and get their house ready and their turkey in the oven and things like that, because Christmas is celebrated on the eve of the 24th. Our main Christmas dinner is eaten at midnight between the 24th and the 25th, and the 25th is a holiday. In Canada, most people, like, I mean, everyone I know celebrates Christmas on the 25th, which is the first holiday. And it is not a midnight or even an evening, is somewhere between a mid-afternoon to early evening kind of meal. And it can be like a whole day or part of a day, but it's celebrated on the 25th. And the 26th is a holiday. It's called Boxing Day here. And it is a holiday, and it's almost like a Black Friday kind of thing. It's a day that we also have like so many deals and things like that. So I think that was like the first main difference that I've noticed. Another difference that I noticed was also on the feast of the fest. Is in Brazil, I don't know if that's from our European roots or what it is, but we speak the language of food, I guess. So there's always many options. It's always a big table, different foods, so everybody can come in. And sometimes there'll be like potluck and people bring things in. But the one thing that really sticks to me is that whenever we celebrate Christmas in Brazil, there's usually more than one and sometimes up to 3 or 4 proteins. So obviously we do celebrate with turkey as well. And then there's usually like a fish dish, a beef dish, sometimes a vegan or vegetarian protein dish. So you have those options. And the sides are more like festive rice, which is a rice we make with raisins and carrots. We have farofa, which is a manioca flour dish. And there's always a cold potato or root vegetable salad that is mixed with mayonnaise or some sort of creamy and green salads, anything in between really. And so there are many different sides, usually 6 or 7, and at least 4 proteins, and the nature of it is quite different. Here in Canada, I've noticed that most people just other than the appetizers, they focus on simple things, no choices for meals. One protein, usually turkey, and then we have some sort of starch, sometimes a green, sometimes other vegetables, and that's that. But here in Canada, they have 2 things that, oh my God, I've never had before in Brazil, and I am addicted to. It's my favorite part of Christmas. I cannot live anymore without stuffing or dressing. Some people call it one or the other, and gravy. Like, I literally can eat stuffing and gravy by themselves. I don't need mashed potatoes. I don't need broccoli or cauliflower. I don't need, well, I like turkey. But gravy and stuffing are delicious, and we don't have them in Brazil. So I would say that's my favorite part of the Canadian feast of Christmas. Another difference that we do have is the hopper party. So usually in Brazil, every year, Christmas parties everywhere. We will start around 6 or 7 o'clock, and your main dinner is at midnight. So what most people do is beforehand, you already know where you're going to have your main meal, who are you going to celebrate Christmas with, who are you going to be with at midnight, and then eat. So that's your main party. That's where you're going to. And before that, for all those other people that you do love and you have some gifts to give, or you just want to hug them and share the love and say, I appreciate you, you just hop parties. You go to your best friend's house, and, you know, the other side of the family house that you're not spending midnight with, and you spend some time here and there. So you do go to a few parties to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and bring a bottle of wines, have a few drinks, and share some appetizers until you finally land, I would say around 10-ish, on the house that you're going to stay with for the rest of the night. And that's the house that you bring in more wine or drinks and a dish or a dessert to share. Typically, people will bring desserts, and people there are there from the beginning bring other sides, and the host will make at least half or a good portion of the proteins. So that's another big difference, because in Canada, you go to one place and that's where you stay. Some people will have a different party on the 24th for, other side of the families and things like that. But typically it is on the 25th that you spend Christmas with those quote unquote that you love the most. But then it opens up so much drama, because some families will always spend with one side of the family and never spend Christmas with the other one. Because in here, and that's something that I haven't gotten used to yet, is the fact that you celebrate Christmas on a different day. So let's say Luke is my husband, so we have two families. Let's pretend that both families live here in Canada. So on the 25th, we decided that this year we're spending with Luke's family. Then I get to celebrate Christmas with my family any day in December. Can be the 26th, can be the 12th, can be the 4th of December. Sometimes it's even late November. I don't get that, because for me it's about the day. And then sometimes you can get really bitter, because every year after year after year, we spend Christmas with Luke's family. What about my family? We never get to spend that special day with them. It's like, I don't know. I don't like the logistics. Sometimes it's a little awkward. And ever since I had Jesse, our son, the 25th means a lot more to me. But I also do appreciate that you can really, especially if you add in step families into account, people are flexible enough to actually have a Christmas dinner with other people. So that is another difference of something that really impacted me, that I wasn't expecting to celebrate Christmas on December 4th, for example, or not hot parties until you land or where you're having the meal. Another difference that we have is that, to be quite honest, I don't even remember if Santa would come at midnight or if he would come in the morning off. I know that in my house we opened Santa's presents on the morning of the 25th, and it was just us. But in here, Santa always comes on the Christmas Eve, and whenever I wake up on the 25th, his presents or whatever it is will be under the tree. But the main difference are stockings. Santa also fills stockings with little knicks and knacks and chocolates and little things, whatever will fit in there as a little added bonus. And I really like stocking, and it's like you get those little things and you put in there, and you go to bed with your stockings empty, and when you wake up, Santa fill them all. And I really like that concept, and it's not a concept that we do have in Brazil. Also, most people by New Year's Eve in Canada will have taken their tree down, and in Brazil we typically do not take our trees down until the 6th, which is some sort of religious holiday about the three kings. Wow, great Catholic. I don't know the name of the holiday, but that's when we take our tree down. And one thing that we do have in common is that all kids during the Christmas time are home. In Brazil, that's usually when it is summer there, and it's when children have their summer vacation, so their longest time of the year without having to go to school. So they're always home for that part of the holiday. And here in Canada, we are home from the week of Christmas until the first week of January. So during this time, children are always home. And that's like really nice. Nothing better, than the laughs and things like that. And I think it's not really necessarily about Christmas, but the only other difference that I would like to talk to you is that in Canada, the two main end of the year parties are the Canadian Thanksgiving, which is celebrated on the second Monday of October, and Christmas on the 25th. In Brazil, we celebrate back to back. We have Christmas on the 25th and then we have New Year's Eve. We do celebrate New Year's Eve just as big as we celebrate Christmas. So it is a big feast and you have all your families and friends together, and typically you will spend it with your family and have a big meal until just midnight, and then from midnight you go and meet with your friends or stay home and you just drink or celebrate things until, you know, the party is over and then sun has come up and, you know, you see the sun shining on the first day of the year. In here, people very rarely celebrate New Year's Eve. It's not a family or friend party, really. It is a drinking party, so most people will meet with their friends, I suppose. Will meet with their friends, but just to have drinks, ring in the new year, and that's that. And, you know, last call is like 2 or 1 or something. I haven't been out in a long time. But in Brazil, New Year's Eve is a big family and wholesome celebration as well. Children do participate. They stay up until midnight, and then we wish everybody a happy new year, and then we just tinker on until the last person leaves the party. And here is not much at all like the last celebration is Christmas. Well, I think that's what I had for the main differences between the ways that, you know, the people I know celebrate Christmas in Brazil and Canada. I hope you enjoy. Let me know in the comment down below, what traditions do you have? Maybe next year I'll talk about some of the traditions of my family, but I'm really interested. Where do you live? Do anything that I mentioned is something that you do where you're from, or what do you do that is completely different from both countries, and what you heard me say really didn't make no sense at all? I don't know, but from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for being here with me in this new journey. And if you do celebrate Christmas, I hope you have a wonderful Christmas filled with love, joy, and peace. And until next time, be the hummingbird.